Hi, today I wanted to do the follow-up on the reworking of the surface of the Guanqing watch. I refinished it in a way that it was polished and now I made it have a brushed look. I plan to do that today, so I will go through that. Thing is though that I have a bit of a cold, if nothing more, and I hope my voice can keep up with what I'm trying to convey. Here you have the Guanqing watch. I haven't done really that much more to it than as I described. It all went quite smoothly. I chose to keep this edge between the polished surface and the brushed looking surface intact. I thought it was interesting to just have a possibility to see the difference, and it can be a special kind of mark of craftsmanship on this watch. So I kept that. There's not much to tell about this watch, but I also brought some other stuff with me to give examples of what is possible. I also did another watch. Here I have some Seiko I's in the NSXS range. I think it's the NSXS range, isn't it? Yeah. I really like this watch. The thing is though that it's all polished. So the sides are polished, the bezel is polished. And I wanted to have a watch that was livened up a bit, so I took the gray one, which I like quite a lot. This is the NSXS 79, and as you can see, I did the same kind of brushed finish look on the side of the watch. It turned out to be quite clean, so that was quite nice, but what I warned about in the other movie happened to me here as well. On the other side, I, well, screwed it up a little bit. I wanted to go in the edges, in the crown. I also went over the crown, and you can turn it in the same direction as what you would have with the, so that the lines, you don't see the lines very well, I guess, but the matte finish goes on top of the crown as well. So here I didn't want the harsh lines of the polished surface area around the crown. I just wanted everything to look brushed. So I really went in there with my bit of sanding paper and I scratched the surface above. Now, there is a way to quite easily actually help yourself when this happens. So what I used to do, and I don't have it here. I have some sort of polish agent that is good for stainless steel, and I have a tip of a skewer like this, and I dip it in the polishing agent, and then I just really work out these scratches very precisely with the tip of it. If the tip gets used, gets worn, as you can see here, I just resharpen it as if it was a pencil, and then I apply another layer of polish, or if I still have enough polish, I use that, and I go on with my work. And I don't know, I will try to clean it up a little bit more, the watch, because it's a little bit fat, I saw. If you do make mistakes, it is not that, it doesn't take that long to just work them out. So, as you can see, it is quite nice. Now, this watch has kind of a slanted edge underneath, and I chose to also give that the brushed finish as well. Because it's a little bit at another angle, it still has a different play in the light, but I thought it was not so easy to make that really a sharp edge. And also, in this watch, the edge hasn't been milled very clean, so it would only stress that this edge is not straight. So that's what I did with this watch. Now you can also do something else. The trick I explained with the skewer and the polishing agent, you can also apply that to edges of watches. So if you have the blue original out-of-the-box Guanqing, the Addiesdive H2 watch I have over here, you see that it has been brushed on all sides, which is also kind of dull in more ways than literally. So what I did with the black variant of this watch is that I took those edges and I only polished out these edges. And then you get a little bit more contrast in the watch. What is kind of nice looking about this watch, what defines it, is that it has such sharp lines breaking up the surfaces. So in applying kind of a polished finish to the edges, you kind of stress that. And I think it really looks great on this watch. I only did it on the sides, so this top line and this top ridge. I don't think I did it on other. No, that's the only. I have done this quite early on already, so it's not done yesterday. Yeah, I really like that, to do stuff as well. I also wrote that you can use this on other stuff as well, rings, for example. I have an example of two rings that are the same. These are made of titanium, and I bought them in two because they were quite cheap actually. So I bought them in two different sizes just to test. Here you see the version as it was sold, so straight from factory. It looked like this. And although it's nice, I thought it would be nice to have the other one in a more kind of brushed finish. So what I did with the other one is, instead going along the ring, I brushed or reworked it, applied my finish perpendicular. If I recollect correctly, I used a 200 grit on this one, not a 400. But of course, always start with 400, and if you're not happy with that, if it doesn't show enough, then go for a 200. As you can see, these lines are perpendicular, and that makes that the light plays with it in a different kind of fashion. You might also see that, again, here I polished out the top edge to give it a little bit of a contrast on the ridge to make it stand out more. Now, I have worn this ring and I have reworked it a couple of times because, as you can see, it is titanium, but it does scratch. It is pure titanium. Maybe there are some mixtures, can't come up with an English word at the moment, of metals with titanium alloys. There are some alloys, titanium alloys, that don't scratch up that easy, but this one did scratch up quite easily. So I think that's actually rather nice looking. This one I haven't worn that much, or at all. I could say that's also the reason why this one hasn't scratched yet. They do scratch. So I hope I have given you some ideas about what you can do with polishing and sanding techniques. And if you decide to try something like that for yourself, I would be happy to hear about what your results are and if you're satisfied with them. Bye bye for now.